And I think that, most people understand what the core is, right? So we
For
hear
sure.
that term. It's a very common term. Front of your abdominals, side of your abdominals, your low back.
Yes.
Right. So people think of that as your core.
Yeah.
And if I hear you right, we're expanding that to include those pieces, but also at the bottom, your pelvic floor, and at the top, your diaphragm.
Absolutely. Like if I took the lid and the bottom off that cup, it wouldn't be super useful at holding stuff, right? So there's a top and bottom component too.
Bottom.
And then I think just anecdotally, like it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? So I've worked with so many people who are like, I came from years of pelvic floor therapy, whatever, and it's like they have no idea where their TVA is or how to turn it on or any of this stuff. So it's like as much as the core is like here, it's like what parts of it are working and how, right? And so the people with like non-specific low back pain typically have very terrible breathing mechanics and no TVA access. So when they brace, they just lock down rectus and erectors, and then they smush their spine into flexion and they're like, okay, I'm solid. And they can like survive in that position, but you're not getting better at anything. Conversely, you'll see with a lot of, now athletes different because you have to change your strategy for your sport. You're not trying to be the best like general pop aligned human. You're trying to be really good at sprinting, jumping, whatever, right?
Right.
So a lot of those guys or athletes you'll see really opened up in this like extension pattern where we call it an extension compression stabilizing strategy.
So there, couple terms just before you keep going. Yeah. TVA.
Yes. Transverse abdominis, just the deepest layer of our core.
Layer of those muscles in our core aligned in a different direction.
Yeah, like a weight belt. So like when you see people put weight belts on in the gym, it goes, the fibers run, or the belt runs this way. The TVA does that as well. So lives between ribs and hips, wraps all the way around to lumbar erectors, and is in that orientation.
I love that picture.
So horizontal.
It's horizontal. Yeah. Wraps around you
like a weight belt. And then when we're talking about the athletes in extension, in layman's terms, that would be that they're essentially arching their back.
Think of a Usain Bolt or like a really...
sticking their ribs a little forward.
Yeah, belt buckle looks to the floor.
Belt buckle to the floor. Or in general population terms, we'd be looking at someone maybe with a little bit of like abdominal, like adipose tissue. They would be in that similar format, would you say?
Yeah, well,
possibly?
I think most people just default to like spinal extension or tail kicking out.
Yeah.
You'll get the odd like sway back posture where it's kind of tucked under and there's a different weight shift. But I think just in general with sitting and people's lifestyles I'm guilty of it.
Right.
Where you're kind of pulled in that position, which short term can actually be like beneficial for sports performance. You're never going to see a sprinter win a 100-meter gold medal like locked in and like rotating. That guy's an extension like crazy because he has to get to the finish line really fast. The problem is when like you spend all day like that as a general pop person in the chair at work, and then you stand like that in the kitchen, and then you go and you throw a bar on your back and you're like that again, and then you're just loading the same thing all the time. So I don't think it's like a bad position on its own, but in the context of, if you're always like that, and then you're just overtraining.
Overuse.
Yeah. And then I think it does wind up like basically erectors and rectus become like your core, and your body can't really access TVA. We'll get into it with some of the practical stuff, but changes the alignment of the hip. Now it's harder to find glutes because the joint's never centrated. Like you're always in a bit of hip flexion if your tail's kicking out the back. So just little things like that, I guess. It's like it helped me start to recognize almost just like shapes or patterns that you would want to strive for most people. Obviously, it's highly like individualized.
Right.
But yeah, basically like alignment and pressure management would sort of be the core principles. And then it's just like what sort of movements are you trying to integrate onto that would be the core of it.